you doing? It's Laced in Space Constellations on LSD. Umi Genevieve with you. Thank you for tuning in with me. Like I always say, it's much gratitude. It's greatly appreciated. You could have been anywhere else today and you decided to be here with me. Come chill out with Umi real quick, and I appreciate that. And like before I start, like I always say in all my sessions, much gratitude to all the feedback. Let it be positive, negative, and in between. All interactions is always appreciated and welcomed, because the greatest teacher is experience. Is letting you know sometimes you're not always right. That there's a bigger and better way to think about this, right? Right. Thank you. So today I wanted to talk about a few transits. I want to talk about our transit check with Capricorn Moon right now. I want to talk about the celebrities in the news, because you know your girl likes some tea. So we got LeBron and we got Jacob. We got LeBron energy, and then we have, you know, the Jacob Blake energy. We're going to talk about and dive into, right? So let's start. Transit check, transit check, transit check. So right now the moon is in 0 degrees Capricorn. That means the moon is conjunct Jupiter, Saturn, and Uranus. As we know, we're in Virgo season and Mercury's in Virgo. So there's going to be a lot of fixing up we're about to do here. A lot of damage control time we're going to be in here. A lot of cleanup time we're going to do here, so we get prepared for the elections, for that November energy of, you know, where are we going to put our resources into and fund, right? Because that's what Scorpio is about, right? Right, makes sense. Where we're putting our inner resources into and where we feel like will bring us a sense of fullness, wholeness, and a sense of security. Scorpio opposite Taurus. Boom, right? So right now Venus is in Cancer, so it's an opposition of all this Capricorn energy. What is that showing? That's showing that right now the energy is about the government finding a sense of balance with everyone in their home base and their family. But the bigger issue is what is Cancer energy? Cancer energy is the most vulnerable of society. It is the most emotional of society. It is the most expressive of society. So what is a big issue right now with government, especially within the next 2.5 days, as Capricorn is in the moon energy? We're going to see the need of the black people asking government, what the fuck are you about to do? And I feel like the fact that, you know, LeBron got into this, it's so deep, because as we know, LeBron's a Capricorn sun and Jupiter. So that means that this energy is really sitting on him for him to take a sense of action, some sense of authority amongst, you know, people who really look up to him. And that's a lot of Cancer energies. We'll always look up to Capricorn. People who feel like, you know what, this person went out and put some respect on their shit throughout what they've been through and throughout all their, you know, emotional upbringing and that baggage that comes with that, they still persevered. So that's that whole Cancer, that's that whole Capricorn energy for LeBron. Now it gets even trickier. LeBron is a moon in Aries. So what is our Mars transiting in right now? Our Mars is transiting in Aries. And what is Mars? Mars is destruction, fatality, violence. But then it could even get to assertiveness, competitiveness, and just a need to put in some forth of action. And as we see LeBron on the court, he's very action oriented. Aries is the first sign, the most immature sign, and the youngest, the baby. So he has a very youthful spirit. He wants to kind of be a pioneer of something and bring some sense of originality to wherever he stands. So with Mars hitting his moon right now, he's in a place where he feels like he needs to put in some forth of action. And if he's a Gemini rising, that puts the moon energy in that 10th, 11th house energy. That, yep, because he would have Taurus in the 12th, and then the 11th he would have Aries. So that means he's kind of pushing towards his, what's 11th house? Social circles, networks, political parties, his squad A, right? So he's basically saying, bruh, we got to do something. We got to put in some action. We got to show them who the fuck they're dealing with. Some Aries shit. And it's very emotionally charged for him, because he know what is 11th house? House of gains. It opposites the 5th house of our skills, of our, you know, our creativities. So he knows that a lot of the things that he's fighting against for is going to go against a lot of his endorsements and a lot of the things that he subscribed through his creativities and through his sense of, you know, what he came here to do, and that's motherfucking ball. Right. So big energy for LeBron right now. For the next 2 days, they're going to really be pushing because the moon is in Cap. So sitting on his Jupiter, his sense of perspectives and beliefs, and that's a talking energy, and Jupiter is in Cap. So natally, and that's his natal, transit wise, and that's his natal. So people are trying to figure out, what is LeBron about to talk about? Like, what is his stance on this, and what is the next forward? Because remember, Capricorn always opposes Cancer people. The people sitting in their house, like, what is going to happen next? So it's that energy there. So shout outs to LeBron, bro. Big year. You got a Taurus. You have a Taurus North Node. He has a Taurus North Node. Uranus is in Taurus right now. So he's going through a lot of value changes. He has a South Node in Scorpio, meaning he's coming from a past life of getting that cheddar, but it was at sometimes taxing towards him, meaning he would sometimes subscribe to things that were more so giving out than he was getting in. And or maybe he would attach himself to, Scorpio is attached to, a repressed energy, so it could be shameful in that house sometimes, because there's a deep need to change. Uranus is exalted in Scorpio, is exalted by Scorpio, which is Aquarius. It needs to change. There's a need to want to change or feel to change. So, he's coming into his lifetime really trying to figure out his value sets and how not to attach his sense of value to money and to having and to power, to really feel whole and to really feel like what he's doing is not morally right, but just in the sense where he feels is comfortable and secured for him, no matter what everybody else is doing. So he has to come into a lot of that energy, LeBron, in this lifetime, where he has to put his money where his mouth is, where his action is, and where his sense of visions are, to kind of bring a sense of leadership, authoritative for the more Cancer energies, for the kids at home who feel like they have no way out. So big time for LeBron right now. Big time for LeBron. His Venus is in Aquarius. So, Saturn's about to sit on his Venus. And remember, he's a Venus North Node energy. He's a Taurus North Node. So, he's about to do a lot of philanthropy work. He's about to go out there and really try to be with the people. I believe that with LeBron. And I think he's going to take a more original way of doing it. He's a moon in Aries. So, he's going to do something that is kind of different than how most athletes have went about, moving into a more bigger platform. As we know, Michael Jordan is an Aquarius sun, so you already see how he took his identity and now what platform he set with that. Well, with LeBron, he has to go a little bit deeper with that, because he needs to make sure what he's subscribing to is something that he feels is morally right to him, and what he feels like is something he values and something he feels like can be a betterment for his the society that really looks up to him. So it's a little different than him. That's why he's always kind of on his tippy toes. He doesn't really do bad shit. He doesn't really get into and he's good as hell. He could do that. He's a great player. He could really do what he wants. But because of that Capricorn nature of knowing that you have heavy purpose here, and because of that, the energy of being a Taurus North Node, he has to make sure that he does things in a way that adds value to him. That's not so much adding, that's not more so attached to power, but more attached to, where he can feel like he could be a true resource to others. You know what I'm saying? So yes, LeBron. Now I wanted to talk on Jacob Blake. A big energy for Jacob Blake, because he again is a Taurus energy with a Sagittarius moon at 0 degrees. He's born April 30th in 1991. Before I jump into that, he kind of this whole year has been Gemini energy. From George Floyd dying during passing, my apologies, during a Gemini season. Then we have May 25th. Then we have Breonna Taylor, which is a Gemini sun, and then we have a bunch of celebrities with Gemini energy. So that whole thing. So with Jacob Blake, from Trump to Pence to Camilla being a Gemini rising, it's just a lot of Gemini energy. This is a next 18 months of really figuring out how you think for yourself, and also speaking your truths, even if you don't get the reciprocation that you're looking for, right? So with Jacob Blake, he's a Taurus sun with a Sagittarius moon. So the Gemini North Node is opposing his moon energy. Now, just with his energy in general, he's dealing with a lot of indulgences. But this, it's kind of fucked up. You know, life is fucked up sometimes. So really, this situation, since it's Uranus in Taurus and his Mercury has progressed into, you know, a Taurus energy, Mercury in Taurus. So this is going to give him the financial gain that this lifetime was, you know, he wanted. Because when you come into this lifetime, whatever energies you're in is what you're here to kind of, you know, harness on. So with that heavy Taurus energy with the Sagittarius moon, he really needed a sense of, you know, he just had money issues. He had issues with, you know, value systems, things of that sort. So it's just kind of fucked up that, you know, yes, after this situation, he will be paid out the ass. But, you know, but, you know, that's not the important factor. The important factor is, you know, the reality of what's going on here. But when you have to be honest with energy, and you have to really know what energy is, and forget all the emotional parts of it sometimes. And for him, this is a man that had a lot going on. He's a Taurus sun, Sagittarius moon. He's Jupiterian and Venus. So he's going in with a sense of indulgence. He had a lot of kids. And I'm not trying to even holler at that. I'm not even trying to get on that. But this fucked up situation has now put himself in a more Taurus and Venus aspect. Yes, he's lost a lot of his youth because of this tragedy, but he's now in a place where I feel like he can now gear towards a financial security that a Taurus is always looking for in their lifetime. You know, they're looking to kind of be set when it comes to having, so they can take care of their ones dearest to them. Taurus North Node. LeBron James, see their connection, the North Node conjunct this man's sun. So this kind of, they probably have no idea, but their energy was like, and like it kind of ignited him. He's like, what is Taurus? Taurus is the bull. The bull be minding his business, you know, in its own world. It's not till somebody fuck with it. It's like, oh shit, like I'm sparked up. I'm turned up now. The bull's ready to fight. So the energy sparked it. Enough is enough. Another thing with his chart, right? He had that whole, you know, in his whole natal, he has a natal Mercury in Aries. What is Aries? We spoke about that before. Destruction, fatality, gunshots. And Mercury. What is Mercury? Our everyday, you know, routines. Mercury is Gemini and Virgo, everyday routines, but also our children and just like, you know, close by. It's a close by energy, short distance travel, right? Aries. Mars is transiting in Aries. So during an everyday routine in a car, by a car, around the neighborhood, I get a situation of pure violence. Mars. In front of my kids, Mercury. Another big thing with Jacob Blake is that he's going through a Saturn return. That's big shit. He's going through a Saturn return. He was 29 years old. He's going through a Saturn return during this. This is something really personal for him. Regardless of what we think. This is something very, very personal for him. And, wow. I can't wait to see. He's a progressed Gemini sun with a Sagittarius moon still. I want to hear his message and what he has to say, because he's going to have a lot to say. With this energy, and because he's so Jupiterian and Mercury, they might use him, because what is the elections, heavy Gemini, as a voice. And I don't know which party it might be, but as a voice, he's gonna get used. And you know it, probably Democrat, but Gemini is tricky. But he's gonna be a big voice. His Saturn return, he's a Capricorn North Node. So that means all this planets is conjunct his North Node, his life path. So I think Gemini, someone's gonna pick him up and want to hear his message and want to put him on a platform where he can now speak some reason or some sort of perspective that can kind of, you know, give us a gist of what the year is to come. New leaders, new people in charge. Get ready. People are leaving their Capricorn energy and being done with it. People are almost fed up or entirely fed up with status quo and just that overall oppressive energy. So we're going to see what's going on. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate it.